With 2 kids playing on 4 different teams, Jane struggles to stay organized, especially when it comes to getting everyone to the right place at the right time. And with the inevitable last-minute changes, things get even more frustrating. Thankfully, each team uses TeamSnap, making Jane's life a breeze. After downloading the app and activating her account online, schedules are automatically synced to all of Jane's calendars. She gets team notifications on the go by email and text, maps and directions are a single tap away. And she can even view team contact information so she can organize carpools with nearby families. Get started with your free account today and join millions of parents like Jane who already use TeamSnap to keep their kids on the field and their sanity intact.
Proud presenting partner of the 2014 Chicago Red Stars, C.J. Wilson Mazda has all-star service and breakaway selection with all new models, like the 2014 Mazda 6, starting only $19,999. Discounts off MSRP include all customer incentives, plus tax, title, license, and dock fees. Financing varies for qualified buyers. Offer ends April 30th, 2014. Test drive a Mazda today at C.J. Wilson Mazda, located at the corner of LaGrange Road and Joliet Road in Countryside. Visit ZoomZoomNation.com for the largest selection of new and pre-owned Mazdas in Chicagoland.
West Lomnicki. I'm Lisa Byington, and Wes, you're kind of making your broadcasting debut. We're happy to have you here.
Excited for it. I know these teams both pretty well. Seen the league a lot over the last few years. It's going to be an exciting day.
Well, let's dive right in and a preview of this matchup between the 4th place Red Stars and the 8th place Sky Blue.
We're confident. We've come off of 2 games that I think we haven't played our best. So I think we're excited to kind of get back to where we know we need to be. But I think we feel good. We've had a good week of training, and we're ready to get back on the field. I think our athleticism, our speed, I think we play at a pace that really pushes the game and just moves really quick, and there's a lot of running and just all over the field, up and back, and I think that throws some of the teams off who aren't used to playing at that speed. So I think that's one of our strengths, and then just kind of a little bit of confidence, attacking confidence, I think is something that we have that we need to bring to each game. Well, I think we're really confident in the players that we have. We actually aren't missing too many players from the team we had early in the season, so I think we actually have a leg up on some of the teams who are missing players, because we are very confident in the group that we have. I don't think anything needs to be said. I think it's just everyone knows they're here for a reason. Everybody on the roster has played an important role thus far in the season, so we just another game for us. I think it's kind of a feeling. We need to get back to where we were a couple games ago, but I don't know how you measure that. It's just kind of, we need to feel good about this game. We've lost 2 at home, which is something that we don't like to do. We like to play well for our fans, so that's something that we really need to get back on track. But we're coming off of 2 pretty good performances against Sky Blue the last 2 times we've played them. So you know, I think it's just getting back to where we know we need to be and putting in a good performance.
Well, I feel much better about being able to have a week to prepare. I think it's difficult to ask anybody in the league to have a Wednesday game. A Thursday is more of a recovery regeneration session, Friday travel, and then have to play on the Saturday night. So everybody has to do it. It is what it is. But obviously having a whole week just to let your players physically and mentally recover and then build into a game makes things easier on them and on us. Well, I think every game's different and every team's different. In some of those games, teams came out and played us and got up onto us, so there was more space for us. In some of the games, the team sat a little bit deeper on us, so asked some different questions of us. And, you know, I don't think there's any magical formula. I mean, the players are in form and we're creating chances. It's just a matter of taking our chances when we get them. Sky Blue's hard to play against. We tied them 3 times. We're fortunate enough to beat them last time. You know, Jim's been a coach in all 3 of the leagues. They have a ton of experience. We just have to continue to focus on ourselves and keep getting better at the things that we're trying to do. You know, I think that's the same for regardless of who you're playing. Jim will have his team organized and ready to go, and I don't expect anything different than a battle.
Have it all things Red Stars. Both these teams, Sky Blue and Chicago, coming into this game looking to get back on the winning track. Again, alongside Wes Lomnicki, the longtime coach and the current men's coach here from Elmhurst College. I'm Lisa Byington. We will be your announced team here all afternoon long on a day that brings 80-degree temps and Wes almost 20 to 27 mile per hour winds.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit blustery out there today, and I think it's going to be interesting to keep track of you know, which way the teams are going and who might have the advantage today.
As we're just moments away here from getting this thing started, let's take a look about the lineups here. Now, it's important to mention, too, this is call-up week, so there'll be some changes here. And here's what the Chicago Red Stars look like, going back to a 4-3-3 look here today.
Yeah, they've tinkered with a few different lineups throughout the season as far as formations go, and you know, when they've produced the most goal-scoring chances, I think has been in this 4-3-3, and a lot of familiar faces, even though they are missing some people today.
There will be 6 players missing. If you're keeping track of the Chicago Red Stars roster, you will know that Karina LeBlanc and Adriana Leon will be playing for the Canadian national team, and Shannon Box and Kristen Press and Julie Johnston with the U.S. women's national team, and Abby Ursig, of course, getting called up for New Zealand. So 6 players, more so than what Chicago has been used to, is missing at this point in time in the year.
Yeah, they've always been a team that has had to deal with this type of adversity, and you know, the players on the field today are very used to each other. They know how each other work on and off the ball, and you know, I don't expect too big of a letdown from the group, even though they are missing some people today.
Janelle Foligno and Sophie Schmidt called up for the Canadian national team on the Sky Blue side, as well as Christy Rangone and Kelly O'Hara. They'll be obviously with the U.S. women's national team there as well. A game when they actually played here last night. And Kristen Press getting the assist on the 1 goal that was scored last night.
She did. Assistant to Sydney LaRue. They're a dangerous pair up front. The Red Stars definitely are looking forward to having her back in the lineup.
So you and I were talking here before this game started and saying that it might be interesting to see the pace of this maybe in the first 10 minutes. Both of these teams anxious to get some points here this afternoon and maybe thinking they can do it sort of with short-staffed rosters here.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think both these teams feel they can come to this game to get some points. They're both going to be confident in the way they attack from the very start today, I think.
It'll be controlled by Chicago here early. Your keepers who will get the start, Taylor Vansel here for Chicago and Jill Lloyden there for Sky Blue. Of course, your head coaches is Rory Dames of the Red Stars and Jen Gabera for Sky Blue FC. And trying to control there in the midfield, that is something that Chicago struggled with against Seattle about a week ago.
Yeah, I think one of the things that did them in against a very strong Seattle team was, you know, a lot of turnovers in their own end of the field led to some very good opportunities for the Seattle squad that is always dangerous on the counterattack.
Sky Blue trying to work on that right side. Will keep it on the right side. Very little pressure so far provided by up top there from Chicago. And there's the takeaway in the center of the field. Keisha Mayorway getting the start there at the left back position there for Chicago, and a couple of new faces here for Sky Blue as well. Maya Hayes getting her 6th start. You mentioned Meg Morris in her 1st start. Lindsay Cutchell will get her 3rd start here this season. Those players really kind of filling the voids of some of the call-up players here for Sky Blue. And trying to go up and over the top to Kendall Johnson. That one sails out of play. DiBernardo controlling in the center. Gives it up there to Sky Blue, who will work it through the backfield. You see Jen Hoy just kind of laying back a little bit there up top.
Yeah.
Hoy, of course, getting the start again. The only time she didn't start this year was against Seattle, and that was because Kristen Press got the start, and Hoy came in the second half as a sub.
Yeah, she's a dangerous player. She's got a ton of pace up there, and I think the Sky Blue defenders are going to have to respect that pace throughout the game. First half here, the Chicago going into the wind, you know, maybe a little bit more simple to feet is what's going to be, you know, on par for the first half for the Red Stars.
Yeah, good point. Keep it on the ground. You should mention, yeah, the south end of this field here, and that would be the left side if you're watching us here on the web stream. It's the left goalpost that you are going against the wind. It's the right side and the right goal that you want to be basically playing both halves if you could, if that was legal.
Yeah, that would be opportune. Something to, I think, keep track of here and take notice of. I think Sky Blue in the last game against Houston was trying to play very direct from their back line through their forward line. You know, it's something to watch for, and I think maybe you see some early pressure from the front line of Chicago to try to deny those early serves.
And there is a ball, exactly what you were talking about, trying to go right up top. Trying to use that speed. There'll be a little bit of pressure. Now the kicking game, the Chicago staff feels like Taylor Vansel is very good at, and they might be able to play off of her in that way here this afternoon. Up and over the top, Nanase. Kidu, one of the strikers, number 7 there for Sky Blue. Working into the corner. It'll be a goal kick coming up for Chicago.
Yeah, we've seen Taylor play last year for the Red Stars. She's a very strong keeper with a lot of upside, and you know, personally watching her play over the last 2 years, I think she could start in a lot of other teams throughout this league and around the world. Actually, she's a very strong keeper, and definitely no letdown from missing Karina Blanc. I think Taylor's going to step into her shoes quite well today.
Yeah, and talking to goalkeeper coach Trey Manning here before the game, he just said, you know, she's no stranger to this kind of situation. The only other time she got a start here this year was actually against Sky Blue in the same sort of call-up situation when Karina was gone. And that one ended in a 1-1 draw, and she said the one goal that she gave up was a PK.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keisha Mayorway throwing it in here for Chicago. Again, Sky Blue being so patient and trying to work it through the back line. Working through the left side there. Vansel will control. And Chicago will switch fields. Haven't seen any shot attempts yet between these two teams. Into the 6th minute here of play. And Chicago threatening in a whistle and a free kick here coming up for the Red Stars.
One thing you saw there, I think is important to keep an eye on, is Chicago loves to get their outside backs involved in the attack. Specifically Rachel Kwan going down the right side. I think you can kind of unbalance the Sky Blue back line today if, you know, she is able to continue to penetrate down that right side.
So Lori Kolupny and Vanessa DiBernardo will set up here on this set piece. Kind of a dangerous spot too if you're Sky Blue defensively.
see how they deal here with striking this ball into the wind.
And a strong 20 to 27 mile-per-hour wind blowing against the Chicago Red Stars. Here's Kolupny. She'll take the shot. Ricochets right back at her. Places it into the box. And the miss look there. Zakia Bywaters had a look and just couldn't control it.
For live in-game updates, please follow us on our new Game Day account at Red Stars Live.
So the first real dangerous chance here for either team, coming off of the free kick, and Chicago coming up empty-handed. You saw in that preview that Chicago has been held to basically one goal. There's a dangerous look there. And Joe Lloyden coming up with it. Scoring has not come easy in the last few games here for Chicago. Why?
They played a really strong team out in Seattle. I was actually out at that game, and they were able to get the first goal off a set piece, redirection off a set piece. But Seattle is definitely a team that will take it to you and control any mistakes you may have throughout the game.
And Rachel Kwan going down hard with the foul, and Chicago will have the free kick. Michelle Winano out to Kwan, who will settle. A dangerous pass there, but handled nicely by the Red Stars. Keisha Morway up the left side, trying to place it in and behind the defense. And no call and no whistle.
Very dangerous look there for DiBernardo.
And a perfectly placed ball. You can't ask for anything better. Cami Levin to the center of the fielder to Ashley Nick. Sky Blue possessing nicely here on this possession. And a goal kick here coming up for Taylor Vansel in Chicago.
As I was talking about with the direct style that Jersey seemed to show the last couple games, it might be difficult to play over the top of the forwards in this half with that 20-mile-an-hour wind at their back. Might have to try to play through feet a little bit more to find success.
Even playing into the wind, you think it would be difficult?
Yeah, that ball tends to carry a little bit more if you're putting it up in the air, and if the back line does a good job reading it and the keeper's quick off her line, I think Taylor should be able to control most of those balls up over the top today.
Yeah, once that ball's in the air, it is sailing and it's not stopping. Red Stars throw in here coming up. 0-0 into the 10th minute here of the first half. A game between the Sky Blue and the Chicago Red Stars. The Sky Blue have lost the last 3, the Red Stars the last 2. One of these teams, unless we have a draw here this afternoon, one of these teams will get back here on the winning track. Kolupny trying to find Bywaters. Kolupny will keep it herself. A 1v1 opportunity up against Caitlin. And they'll call the foul there on Kolupny.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to take a moment and thank all the groups that are with us today. We can't have a team without you.
Caitlin Ford had a difficult mark assignment against Tiffany McCarty in the last game that the Sky Blue played. McCarty scoring 2 goals in that game. 2 of the 3 goals in that loss. Here's Kolupny taking it inside the box towards the 6. Tries to drop it off.
Very delayed offside call there by the linesman. Not sure what we're seeing there, but they saw something we missed. Good win off the free kick by the Red Stars. Good opportunity to counterattack there.
Yeah, usually you don't see an offsides call called that deep into play or that close to the goal.
That was pretty late.
Alongside Wes Lomnicki, I'm Lisa Byington, and Wes is not only the current men's coach at Elmhurst College, but the fiance of Michelle Winino. The only reason why I'm bringing that up is because we have a halftime feature involving the both of you guys. I hope I don't embarrass you too much.
No, the video will embarrass me plenty. Don't worry about it. I told Michelle I'd take it easy on her today from the booth, by the way. So.
Well, we appreciate you helping us out. Again, another opportunity here for Chicago, running it down in an offsides call.
Yeah, linesman had the flag up early that time.
That one made a little bit more sense.
I would say so.
Well, Chicago is looking up top to Alyssa Motz. But going back to the halftime feature, that's something that the Red Star fans can look out for. They play a little bit of a newlywed game. I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah, they did a newlywed game with Michelle and I a couple days ago, and you know, we found out we probably got to learn a little bit more about each other.
Here's Jen Hoy, so speedy, running onto it. She's got some help there. Tried to find Alyssa Motz on the other side, and she just could not put it on frame.
As you can see there, Jen using her pace to get in behind. Good idea to try to square that ball across goal. Just runners were arriving just a little bit too late to get on the end of that one.
And a beautiful touch of the outside of the foot there to cross it in. Here is Kidu. Kidu. Nowhere to play and just plays it right to Vansel. Taylor Vansel, just the one start coming into this afternoon. As we had mentioned, that one start coming against Sky Blue FC, with Karina LeBlanc called up to the Canadian national team. Switching fields, play there to Kwan. And Jill Lloyden comes up. Lloyden in particular this year, a bit against Chicago here earlier this season. And the keeper situation is something that Jim Gabera has switched between Brittany Cameron and Jill Lloyden here all season long. Lloyden's got the most starts, 9 starts in 9 games, compared to Cameron's 4 starts in 4 games. Lloyden, of course, the alternate keeper on the U.S. women's national team for the 2012 Olympics. There was some thought that she might get called up to the national team here.
Obviously a very competitive pool to try to crack into, and girls are constantly trying to prove themselves throughout the league and throughout the international club cycle as well.
We talked about, with this being call-up week and something to prove for both of these teams, what's the kind of pace that you've seen here so far early in the first half?
Kind of like what we said before. I think both teams are showing some confidence, trying to go forward. I think they realize the players that each team is missing, trying to maybe pick apart a weakness here or there as the game progresses here early on.
You talk about the direct play, and you can see that even with the forwards looking to play up top there for the Sky Blue. The speedy Zakia Bywaters has got some space, and that one way wide right. Talk about those wing players who like to play up, and Bywaters is almost a perfect wing player with her speed.
Great career at UCLA. Lot of speed, very good around goal. Looking to kind of hit her stride this year. You know, with the players the Red Stars have brought in, playing time's been up and down a little bit, but she's a player that can definitely take over a game if she's on her game that day.
Like the Pac-12 in goals one year, in points and game-winning goals as well, was a first-team All-American. As we see a whistle and a foul. You talked about Chicago played really a 4-4-2 in a kind of a diamond formation against Seattle. They've kind of fallen back to a 4-3-3 here this afternoon. Playing in the air, that's Johnson. Out to Alyssa Motz. And Jen Hoy is there with pressure. Playing to the feet here of Lloyden. Sky Blue comes in with 10 points. Here in the NWSL, the Chicago Red Stars with 19 in 4th place here in the league. Here's Kidu. Some physicality there. She got pulled to the ground. Field turf here at Benedictine University. And Sky Blue will have a free kick.
Backline for Chicago is going to have to be very careful. They're putting that center striker right in between the center backs, trying to push that line backwards further and further. Going to come on the holding midfielder to try to do the job of neutralizing the midfield.
A hard shot, and the first real look that we've seen here from Sky Blue here this afternoon. Caitlin Ford taking the shot well beyond the 18. Here's Kolupny running on. She's got Hoy in the near side post and some help far side and just loses control of it.
And we've seen a couple times early on here Kolupny trying to work down the left side of the field. I think she's having some success, feeling confident going at the right side of Sky Blue. Something to look out for going forward. I think she's a very confident player on the ball, probably one of the best in the country. I think they've got to be aware of where she is at all times.
We talked about Caitlin Ford, who's number 4. She is on the right side there. The right back here for Sky Blue had a tough matchup, and Tiffany McCarty was able to take advantage of that matchup when the Sky Blue faced the Houston Dash. McCarty, of course, the 2nd overall pick of the 2013. And really one of those players who's making the most in her 2nd year here in the league.
One thing switching back to the 4-3-3 does for Chicago is allow DiBernardo and Kolupny to get a little bit more involved in the attack. And newcomer to the team, Emily Van Egmond, can sit in behind in that holding role and kind of dictate the pace building out of the back. But DiBernardo and Kolupny are definitely dangerous going forward in this style of play and formation.
Van Egmond, of course, had the 1 goal against Seattle, immediately making her impact in her first game back here with Chicago. A nice touch to the outside. Mott's controlling. And Sky Blue clears. Playing to feet of Kido. Again, back out to Vansel. And they have used her a lot already here in the first half. Taylor Vansel so good with her feet. The nice turn from Kolupny. Finds some space up to Jen Hoy. And an offsides call. So Chicago getting caught a couple of times.
Yeah, they're getting very close to breaking that line. I like the entry ball into Kolupny there. Runs for the front line, just got to be a little bit more on time. But they're knocking on the door right now, breaking through that defense.
And again, they are attacking on that right side of the Sky Blue defense.
Right.
Something that you pointed out here earlier. Something obviously they are confident that they feel like they might have an advantage of here this afternoon. And Hoy will pressure. And the turnover, here's Kolupny. Out to Motz, who crosses it in. Far post. Sky Blue controls. Could have been a really dangerous situation here for Sky Blue FC. Onto Bywater's feet. Emily Van Egmond, the header, score! Chicago up 1-0.
Fantastic ball in. Alyssa Mott's getting on the end of that as that ball hung up in the air a little bit. Great finish. Almost looked a little bit like Robin van Persie's goal for the Dutch the other day over Spain. Maybe not quite the same ball, but equally as good of a header, I'd say.
Emily Van Egmond finding Alyssa Mott's. And Chicago striking first here early in the first half. Into the 21st minute of play. Here's another look at it.
I'll have to call her Alyssa Van Persie after that one.
Like it. We saw Sweden earlier get a real nice win in the World Cup over Ecuador, scoring in the what looked like stoppage time towards the end.
Switzerland in the last, couple seconds of the game today. World Cup fever is definitely on here in the Chicago area.
Trying to chase it down is Hoy, who falls to the field turf. And Sky Blue will control.
You take another look at that goal by Motz. Excellent job reading the ball out of the air, timing it perfectly.
Motz's second goal here this season. And credit Van Egmond with her first assist here this year. So she's played 2 games, has a goal against Seattle and assists so far against Sky Blue. It's nice to have her.
She's definitely a difference maker in there for the Red Stars.
This is Ford controlling. Out to Levin. And into the arms there of Taylor Vansel.
Show your support for your Chicago Red Stars by becoming a season ticket holder. Affordable packages just start at just $150. For more information, please call 772-697-8699 or go to ChicagoRedStars.com.
Bywaters with a little bit of room and a little bit of space here to work with. Out to Keisha Morway. Morway looking for Jen Hoy. And she's going to get caught once again. So you're the head coach. What do you tell Jen in these kind of situations?
She's got to keep testing that back line, got to keep putting herself in between the 2 center backs, making them question who's covering her. And especially with, Kolupny and DiBernardo going at you, Jen should be able to spin off and find some balls into space today, as they've already tried to look to do early on. It's
a good problem to have. Maybe an aggressive problem to have.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The 24th minute here in the first half. Emily Van Egmond finding Alyssa Motz for the first goal here for Chicago, and the Red Stars lead the Sky Blue here 1-0. This is the 3rd meeting here between these 2 teams. The first 2 matches took place in New Jersey. One on May 7th that ended in a 1-1 draw and an absolute monsoon. That was also a call-up window kind of situation like this game was. And then May 28th, the second match, Chicago won 2-0. Up and over the top again. Chicago laying it off there to Bywaters. Kwan controls. Vansel will play it out to the left side.
Last game against Seattle, Chicago took a 1-0 lead and quickly thereafter kind of had a letdown, and Seattle took advantage of them, earning 2 penalty kicks actually to go ahead in that game. So interesting to see how the next 5 or 6 minutes progress, how the Red Stars keep the pressure on and maybe respond defensively from a push for Sky Blue that we're starting to see a little bit.
Well, the Sky making some of those penetration passes a little bit more difficult here than it was at the beginning here of this first half. Caitlin Ford trying to touch it past. And Ford will throw it in.
Join the U.S. Soccer Foundation team and be a champion for today's youth. Visit www.creatingchances.org to learn more.
We've really seen one solid look here from Sky Blue here in the first half. Caitlin Ford again. Looking to Maya Hayes or to Kidu, one of those. They were both there in the box. And Chicago able to clear. DiBernardo sends it sailing. Really one of the only options that she had.
Yeah, you're seeing it difficult for Chicago to really clear their lines right now with the wind blowing the way it is. They're going to have to find, you know, a center midfielder or Jen Hoy's feet up top to really break the pressure and allow them to step.
20 to 27 mile per hour winds really blowing from, on your screen, left to right. So going with the sky blue attack and going against Chicago here, at least for this first half. A turn and defended nicely there from Chicago. Up to Bywaters, who tries to turn. Ford makes it difficult. And a nice touch there from Maya Hayes. Hayes again just getting her 6th start here up top here for Sky Blue. Maya Hayes, no goals, no assists here this year in 2014. Hayes had a knockout career at Penn State. The all-time goal scorer there in State College. And she is trying, when talking to Jim Gabera, she is trying to learn what the pro game is all about.
It's an adjustment for a lot of young former college players coming into the league. The Red Stars had to deal with that a lot last year with a lot of young players. It's definitely an adjustment, but you know, some of these players are able to make that adjustment a little bit quicker than others.
What is the biggest adjustment? Athleticism, physicality?
I would say the speed of play, athleticism. Yeah, everybody is there for a reason playing the professional game. Sometimes in college, players that do play at this level ultimately are always the best player on the field in their college environment. Now they've got to become role players, understand how to work within the team a little bit more, and it's definitely an adjustment.
Again, the only goal here scored in the first half in about the 21st minute. Emily Van Egmond found Alyssa Motz to put Chicago up 1-0 here against the Sky Blue. It's Mott's 2nd goal here of the year. It was the first assist here for Van Egmond in just her 2nd game playing here with the Red Stars.
You mentioned Maya Hayes for Sky Blue. I think another player we need to watch out for in Sky Blue is number 10, Katie Friel, their leading scorer this year. 4 goals on the year, basically playing in that attacking midfield role. Does a good job shooting through when time calls for it, and can cause some problems for the back line of the Red Stars.
Yeah, she's got 4 goals here to lead this team, as you mentioned. A lot of the goals, not maybe traditional, coming off some set pieces and some penalty kick opportunities. Kolupny gets tripped. We'll have another, speaking of set piece, we'll have another one coming up here for Chicago.
Yeah, you tend to see that a lot. I think Kolupny might, if not the most fouled player in the league, one of the most fouled players in the league.
Why is that?
Credit to how good she is on the ball. She's very elusive, tough for defenders to stay with. She's got a great change of pace. Sometimes the only option is to take her down.
Here's another look at it.
Little clip there, not much.
Now DiBernardo will get things started here for Chicago. Kwan is on her left side. Kolupny has pushed up. And there is Kolupny at the top of the box, sends it back in. Usually we see Kolupny even setting up on DiBernardo's left side, but that time Kolupny pushing up a little bit, and Kwan was next to DiBernardo. The header placed nicely to Bywaters. There's a chance, and she puts it in the right corner. Chicago up 2-0.
Another fantastic ball in from Egmond. You know, getting on the end of it again. She's really serving a great ball to the top of the box there again.
The flick on perfectly there to Bywaters. And Zakia Bywaters with her 2nd goal here this year. Here's another look.
Can't have asked for a much better start from the Red Stars. Taking their opportunities, going into the wind. looking very organized and back. Hopefully they can continue this on.
The assist to number 2, Jen Hoy. The time, the 31st minute.
That coming in the 31st minute. Here's another look.
Zakia does very well to control that with her left foot on the first touch, set herself up, square to goal, and just tuck it away. For all those young players out there, and when you find yourself in the box like that, sometimes that's the best way of doing it. You don't have to rip the net, just tuck it away.
But it's so tempting to rip the net.
Yeah, that's the battle we fight as coaches, I guess, with the young players, huh?
Right. Alongside Wes Lomnicki, I'm Lisa Byington. We're happy to have you with us here in a match between Sky Blue FC and the Chicago Red Stars. Sky Blue FC in 8th place here in the NWSL, and Chicago sitting in 4th. But both of these teams need a win. Sky Blue has lost the last 3, Chicago the last 2. And a much-needed 3 points for both of these teams. 2 very hungry teams coming into this afternoon. Cami Levin runs onto it, places it nicely there to Kidu. Kidu up against Sam Johnson. Remember, this is a back line that is playing without Julie Johnston, the rookie for Chicago, called up to the national team. And Jen Hoy drops it back. Chicago trying to play it down on the left side. So Michelle Wenino really in the place there of Julie Johnston. What sort of things have you seen from this back line without Johnston here this afternoon?
There's a lot of consistency. They know each other very well. Michelle's no stranger to playing center back. She's played all along the back line in her 3 years with this team. Sam's done a fantastic job in the center back role this year. So, Julie does add a lot as far as, athleticism and those type of things to the back line. And, Michelle's looking in to fill her shoes today from an organizational standpoint, probably first and foremost.
You mentioned all the young players, Sam Johnson, and Julie Johnston. Amazing that they could have the success that they're having with such a young group back there.
Yeah, Julie's got some international experience. Sam's no stranger to high-level soccer, and I think, with the consistency they've been able to have over the last couple of years, I think it was pretty easy to plug them in, and they're really becoming leaders in their own right this year. Red Stars have only given up 10 goals this year, second in the league. The back line's been very solid, and that's a compliment to the midfield group as well.
Again, with it being call-up week, Chicago is without 6 of its normal players, and Sky Blue is without 4. It's really the most that Chicago has missed in terms of a call-up week and a call-up situation. And that's going to be happening the more allocated players that they get. Van Egmond controlling the midfield real nicely. Getting up again to Jen Hoy. Number 2 against number 2. Jen Hoy up against Coco Goodson there for Sky Blue. DiBernardo needs some help. Drops it off to the right side. Chicago trying to play off of a combination. DiBernardo with the shot. A 2-0 lead here for Chicago. Goals to Motz and Bywaters. Motz in the 21st minute, Bywaters in the 31st, and that's where we stand right now, a 2-0 lead. There's a turn from Hoy, drops it off nicely there, the Kalepny. DiBernardo out to Motz. A 1v1 situation here for Motz.
Red Stars getting back to their own ways. Looking very confident in the attack thus far. A little bit of creativity from Jen there to try to find Lori Kalepny for a shot on goal.
The Chicago Red Stars team had a strong May, has dropped the last 2. A disappointer to Washington, and then of course against first place Seattle last weekend. And they have a tough schedule coming up. About 3 games in the next 7 days. It's a corner chance here for the Red Stars. DiBernardo will do the duties. Out to the top of the 6, and trying to flick it on there was Jen Hoy. With some of these international players back, what we saw in that Washington game and even in Seattle with some of those set pieces is the increased height that Chicago has and some of those targets on some of those corner chances.
Absolutely. You see Urseg in there from New Zealand. She's away right now with the New Zealand team. She adds a lot of height and opportunity for the Red Stars to take advantage of dead balls.
There's Motts dropping it off to Bywaters, high off the goalpost. You don't get 3 points for that. Here from Benedictine University Sports Complex in Lisle, Illinois, just about a half-hour drive west of downtown Chicago. The Red Stars hosting the Sky Blue FC. The third and final meeting here between these two clubs here in the 2014 regular season. Both teams in desperate need of 3 points here this afternoon. The turn there for Ford. She's got Maya Hayes. And Ford taking it all the way in line. And she created a corner chance here for Sky Blue. Their first chance at a corner look here in the first half. And it comes in the 38th minute. Nanasi Kidu will take the corner here for Sky Blue. And she'll place it out to Cami Levin. DiBernardo miskicked it, but no damage there as that sails out of play.
Red Stars got to be careful there as we got another corner coming up. A little bit of letdown of focus. They were able to get that short corner off pretty easily there. Could potentially cause some troubles if they're not on point going forward with that.
And this time it'll be Katie Friels here for Sky Blue. Friels sends it in. Far post. She was looking for Coco Goodson. So Chicago survives back-to-back corner chances here for Sky Blue. And Sky Blue FC coming up empty-handed. 2-0 here from Lisle, Illinois. With Wes Lomnicki, I'm Lisa Byington. Thank you for joining us in the Chicago Red Stars web stream coverage. Both players were looking for a foul. Neither player gets it.
Not having it.
Caitlin Ford and Zakia Bywaters battling there on the sideline. Sky Blue will control. Lindsay Kutschel getting her third start on the back line there for Sky Blue. Handled nicely there by Michelle Wenino. Again, if you missed it, Wes Lomnicki, the fiance of Michelle Wenino, at halftime. I'm going to keep teasing it. A little newlywed game. Now, who was better? Can you give us that, Michelle or you, in answering those questions?
I have the microphone in my hand, so I'm going to say I did better. But, we'll leave it up to
Whenever you have the microphone in your
hand,
hand, you have the power in your hand. Don't forget that. Wes Lomnicki, the men's coach, the men's soccer coach at Elmhurst College, gracious enough to join us here for our broadcast. In a 2-0 game here between Chicago and Sky Blue. Again, looking for Jen Hoy, and she'll hang back just a little bit. She's been whistled for a few offsides here early in this first half. And Sky Blue will take the throw, and that's Meg Morris. Meg Morris taking it in her first start here of 2014 for Sky Blue. Meg Morris getting some time. Jim Gabera telling us before the game, really physical, and he felt like that physicality would be a good counter to Chicago in the style of play that they sometimes come out with.
Yeah, Chicago's not afraid to mix it up as far as from a physical standpoint goes, but you know, sometimes the best way to get a team like that off their game is to match them as far as physicality in the midfield. Right now, you're seeing Lori Kolupny and you know, the center midfield group have a lot of success being able to turn and try to play Jen Hoy in.
50-50 ball. And Katie Friels wins it over Kolupny. And Sky Blue looking up top there to Maya Hayes. And this will be another corner opportunity here coming up for Sky Blue. They had a couple of them back-to-back, came up empty-handed, and they get another here in the 42nd minute. Katie Friels, again, will send it in here for Sky Blue. With no short pass option. Here's the Friels kick. A liner to the top of the 6 and cleared nicely. They'll send it right back in. There was a shot there from Cami Levin.
Dangerous chance there. As you can see, that ball popping back out. Just wasn't quite able to get totally over that ball.
Well, Taylor Vansel hasn't seen a whole lot of action at the beginning of this first half. Has definitely seen her chances in the last few minutes here from Sky Blue. Vansel, you can see how that ball just hangs in the air, going up and against the wind in this direction. Now, Chicago will have the wind in their favor in the second half. It'll be the opposite, obviously, for Sky Blue. Caitlin Ford with the throw-in. It'll be back to Ford, who settles. Ford trying to go 1-on-3 in that opportunity, and here's Kolepny. She has Hoy and drops it through. Hoy is in. And Sky Blue will clear. Kendall Johnson getting it out of danger's way. Few minutes as we close to the half here. In the 44th minute, Keisha Morway sending it in. And Jill Lloyden comes down with it. Gets rid of it quickly. Maya Hayes was almost not even ready for that, it looked like.
Right. That ball came in pretty quick. Sam Johnson did a good job covering there. Not letting the player inside and goal side on her.
Out to Morway here on the left side for Chicago. She's got plenty of space and plenty of time. Bywaters battling, wins that battle up against Caitlin Ford. And Bywaters gets tripped in the box. We will have a PK coming up.
Again, you see the quality of Zakia Bywaters, able to turn that defender and get inside on her, using her pace to get to the end line. Excellent run by her.
So Vanessa DiBernardo will do the duties here for Chicago. The Red Stars already with a 2-0 lead as we head towards the half. DiBernardo goes left side, hits the post. Oh, it's a game of inches, and Vanessa DiBernardo would want that one back.
Doesn't get much closer than that. Typically when it hits that inside of the post, you're spinning it into the far side, but that thing came straight out.
Especially with Joe Lloyden even guessing wrong. So we stay here at 2-0 here between Chicago and Sky Blue. We are into stoppage time here in the first half. And Taylor Vansel lets that one sail away. A goal kick coming up here for Chicago. The Red Stars will take their time in stoppage time here right before the half, with a 2-0 lead. This is a team that has only scored a goal in the last 2 games. One goal total. No goals against Washington, and the 1 goal in a 3-1 loss to Seattle just about a week ago. And there's the whistle for the half. And the Red Stars, a good offensive production here in the first 45 minutes, leading here 2-0.
I think it all comes from the quality of the central midfield for Chicago. DiBernardo, Kolupny, and Van Egmond do a fantastic job providing service into the strikers. Strikers doing a great job getting on the end of some things, and there you have it, 2-0.
Wes Lomnicki commentating alongside Lisa Byington. The Elmhurst current college men's coach is also the fiance of Michelle Wenino, and we have a special feature here coming up here at the half. A little newlywed game here between the two. It's something that the Red Stars fans aren't going to want to miss. We'll get you there in just a matter of moments.
Especially that new 2014 Red Stars home jersey. And stop by the concession stand located on the concourse for refreshments.
Hi, I'm Michelle Wenino. I'm number 13 with the Chicago Red Stars, and I'm originally from Colorado.
I'm Wes Lomnicki. I am a college soccer coach here in the Chicago area with Elmhurst College. Born and raised in Elmhurst, Illinois. It was a funny story. My former college goalkeeper, E.J. Sesselman, actually has a sister that plays professionally as well in the league. And Michelle at the time was living with my former college teammate. So got lucky to meet her through that friend down in the city of Chicago a few years back. Asked permission from her father, of course, and we went to Red Rocks, the huge amphitheater out in the Denver area one day, and pretended to go for a jog up the steps.
He was skipping a lot of steps.
Yeah, I was a little nervous, but raced her to the top, and when I got to the top, I turned around and waited for her with the ring in my hand, so she kind of freaked out. And we planned it where one of her friends was waiting with a camera to capture the moment, so I was pretty smooth for once in my life there.
This is great. If he doesn't get this, then he's...
Okay.
Oh, come on!
Dishes?
I
No?
like doing the dishes. Laundry.
She likes doing the dishes. I need to remember this.
Oh, wait, no, I didn't mean that. Oh, mine's, I thought it was St. Patty's
Oh,
Day.
great. Now everybody thinks I'm a drunk.
No, because you're
4th of July, barbecue,
you're from
fireworks.
Elmhurst, and Elmhurst has one of the biggest parades for St. Patty's Day. Irish Town, no?
You think that people would have had enough of silly love songs?
Boy. Is this for real?
Currently.
Currently. Oh, well, that's not fair.
I'm doing it right now.
Oh, gosh. Did I spell it right? Did I get it?
Yeah.
I don't think I spelled it right. Is that it? Yeah!
This word was that long.
Oh.
Red?
I went really into detail on this one.
Oh my
I bet
gosh.
Red Stars.
You guys are blue too. Okay, well, us Italians call it one thing, but she calls it goulash.
Yeah! You got it. It's not pasta. Goulash is different.
I never heard of it
Okay,
until
so
I met
the
her.
first time he ever had goulash, he kept avoiding eating it because he thought it was so bad. He was like, oh, it sounds terrible, and then he loved it.
I didn't know
He
it was
goes, this is
basically.
great pasta.
I didn't know it was basically like SpaghettiOs, basically.
No, it's not. You did a lot of writing. This is not going to be right.
Okay.
Can this, hold on.
I want you to go first.
Can this be a human?
Go.
I put less. Aww. What'd you put? Oh! I'm so sorry. Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Well, you were the
No, I
answer.
appreciate that. Thanks. That's good. That's good.
Oopsies.
It's taking a while.
Pick a candy bar. He didn't see it. What'd you put?
I said a payday.
Who's getting paid?
We're both working hard.
Okay, I like that one. I said Snickers, sweet but a little nutty.
Oh God. It's so corny. It's so corny.
And the corny one at the too, if you hadn't noticed.
With 2 kids playing on 4 different teams, Jane struggles to stay organized, especially when it comes to getting everyone to the right place at the right time. And with the inevitable last-minute changes, things get even more frustrating. Thankfully, each team uses TeamSnap, making Jane's life a breeze. After downloading the app and activating her account online, schedules are automatically synced to all of Jane's calendars. She gets team notifications on the go by email and text. Maps and directions are a single tap away. And she can even view team contact information so she can organize carpools with nearby families. Get started with your free account today and join millions of parents like Jane who already use TeamSnap to keep their kids on the field and their sanity intact.
Proud presenting partner of the 2014 Chicago Red Stars, CJ Wilson Mazda has all-star service and breakaway selection with all new models, like the 2014 Mazda 6, starting only $19,999. Discounts off MSRP include all customer incentives, plus tax, title, license, and dock fees. Financing varies for qualified buyers. Offer ends April 30th, 2014. Test drive a Mazda today at CJ Wilson Mazda, located at the corner of LaGrange Road and Joliet Road in Countryside. Visit ZoomZoomNation.com for the largest selection of new and pre-owned Mazdas in Chicagoland. What do you drive?
There are 2 ways to manage a team. Coach Derek uses a clipboard, the old-fashioned way, and Coach Bob uses his smartphone and the TeamSnap app. It's faster, way faster. When the practice location changes at the last minute, Coach Bob touches one button to notify the entire team by email or text. Coach Derek needs a team. The night before the game, Coach Bob confirms that he has enough players. At game time, Coach Derek discovers he doesn't have a goalie. And while Coach Bob's bank account is happy because he can collect the team fees online, Coach Derek spends hours searching through notes to track down who hasn't paid. TeamSnap puts your team on the field, on the web, and on your phone. Whatever your game, whatever your group, TeamSnap makes it easy. Sign up and try it for free today.
Teams filing back here to start the second half here in Lisle, Illinois. A soccer match between Sky Blue and Chicago. A 2-0 advantage alongside the current men's soccer coach from Elmhurst College, Wes Lomnicki. I'm Lisa Byington. Highlights here for the first half. There was a lot of scoring opportunities here for Chicago. As you see the Red Stars here coming out, and here's what we look at here in the first half highlights. That was a free kick opportunity there from Kolupny. In fact, Chicago had a lot of chances here in the first half.
Yeah, early on they were really pressing the back line, getting some good opportunities, some good balls in, splitting the center backs there. Something to look out for in the second half. They still are probably going to try and penetrate, on the ground over the top as well.
There's Kolupny. They're attacking there on the left side. It was something that you were impressed with in the first half.
One thing I love watching about Lori Kolupny is the way, she carries at defenders when she has space. Something to take note of if you're a young central midfielder out there.
That was a
You've got that space, carry at those defenders, draw those players to you.
You saw the nice outside touch there from Jen Hoy. Here's a look. And what did you call her on this goal?
It's Alyssa Van Persie. Shades of the Dutch goal against Spain the other day. Fantastic goal.
Alyssa Mott's second goal here of the year. And back the other way, the Sky Blue attacking and Chicago responding. Here's another chance. Kolupny from up top.
Yeah, like we were saying, the front line did a great job pressuring.
And here's the second goal for Chicago. That was Zakia Bywaters. And the flick on by Jen Hoy, absolutely perfect.
Perfect, yep. You see a few times here Zakia Bywaters dropping into the midfield and Lori Kolupny pushing into that left striker position.
You see the wind there kind of taking that ball high into the air. About 20 to 27 mile per hour winds. Certainly we saw some advantages there on the air attack going the other way. It'll be interesting, as you said, to see maybe the attack. And here is the missed penalty kick opportunity here from Vanessa DiBernardo. Just a matter of inches hits that left pole.
Doesn't get much closer than that, that's for sure.
A left post there is not Vanessa DiBernardo's friend. But as I was saying, the wind situation will be interesting to see how these two teams defend each other or change things up strategy-wise.
Yeah, I think you really got to concentrate on how you defend as a flat back four going into the wind versus against the wind. I think, now that the Red Stars are attacking with the wind at their back line may be able to press a little higher up the field, deny the serves from Sky Blue, and, a little bit of a tactical switch up there a little bit.
Your halftime stats look like this. Chicago with the advantage in terms of total shots, 5-3 on target. Well, 3 of those 5 for Chicago were on target. 4 offsides calls, mostly on Jen Hoy here for Chicago, and no offsides called for Sky Blue in the first half.
Yeah, the Red Stars were doing a good job, pushing up against that back line. Some close calls, but, Jen Hoy's definitely making those defenders stay on their game.
And Sky Blue with the corner advantage over Chicago, 3-1 after the first 45 minutes of play. But interesting, we were talking about that Vanessa DiBernardo miss on the PK, and we were talking about if that will come into play here in the second half.
Yeah, you hope Chicago can shake that off, put the third goal away, and really put the game to rest. But we'll see how the first 5-10 minutes go here.
So Chicago that had 1 goal scored in the last 2 games, scored 2, as you saw, in a matter of 10 minutes. 1 in the 21st minute from Alyssa Motts and 1 in the 31st from Zakia Bywaters. And that's where we stand here as we begin here the second half. A flick on from Motts and no one is there. So Jen Hoy will lay back a little bit and not pressure immediately against this Sky Blue back line. Again, going up top, and now Sky Blue going up against the wind. This is Maya Hayes, so speedy. The striker out of Penn State drops it off to Kendall Johnson, who takes a chance, and that could be a shot that was affected by the wind.
Absolutely. See the back line of Chicago thus far doing a very good job not getting caught diving in on Maya Hayes. Really, shading her to one area of the field, trying to keep the play in front of them.
That back line, Keisha Morway, Sam Johnson, Michelle Wenano, and Rachel Kwan. Again, the Chicago Red Stars without 6 players. It is call-up week, and they are playing without 6 players here on this roster. Sky Blue without 4. Trying to get in there is Bywaters. And Jill Lloyden kind of clearing that awkwardly. Jill Lloyden in goal, getting the start here for Sky Blue, and Taylor Vansel getting her second start of the 2014 season here for Chicago.
And like we talked about, Lori Kolupny ending up on the ground, really trying to neutralize her presence in the midfield, doing everything they can to limit her. Easier said than done, though, with a player her caliber.
As you had mentioned, it looked like Chicago really attacking that right side of the Sky Blue defense here in the first half, and Kolupny having some success pushing forward there and attacking that right side. A free kick for Chicago. And Kolupny trying to settle. Out to Kwan. Michelle Wenino to the feet there of Kolupny, and she needs some support. She gets it from DiBernardo. DiBernardo with the shot, upper left, hits the crossbar. And she was looking for that upper left corner, and DiBernardo, just a matter of inches for her all day long.
Fantastic look at goal. You see how she follows through, and you know, you got the confidence with the win at your back there, and she definitely got all of that one.
DiBernardo hit the left post on that PK attempt, and she hits the crossbar there on that shot attempt. And we are still at 2-0, the Chicago lead.
Again, that first touch from DiBernardo to free herself up from that approaching defender. Can't do much better than that.
A stoppage of play. Vanessa DiBernardo, just 1 goal and 3 assists. The 3 assists tied for the team lead here for Chicago. Dropped off nicely. There's Kolupny into the box. She goes near side. And deflected there by Lloyden. Lloyden taking away that angle nicely. So a couple of dangerous looks. And great opportunities here for Chicago.
Great run in by Lori there. Just got a little bit away from her on that finish.
If there is a player who's knocking on the doorstep of scoring here this afternoon, it's got to be Lori Kolupny, the captain.
Really like how Chicago's come out the start of the second half here, trying to, you know, force the issue, take the game to Sky Blue, trying to put this one to rest early.
Kolupny, of course, one of the veterans here on this team, and one of the captains with Karina LeBlanc. LeBlanc, of course, called up to the Canadian national team. And here's an offensive look here for Sky Blue. That's Katie Friels. And Sky Blue now into the attacking third. Coco Goodson. Out to Cami Levin here on the right side here for Sky Blue. Up against Motz, who handles it perfectly. Another corner opportunity here coming up for Sky Blue. It'll be the 4th of the game here for Sky Blue. And this is Nanasi Kidu with the lefty cross, a low right to the near post. Katie Friels, and the clear there from Chicago. So 4 corner looks in this game here for Sky Blue, and Chicago has been able to handle it defensively.
Yeah, they do a good job, you know, marking the ranks in their box, getting inside goal side. Always got to be able to get to that first and second ball, especially off corner kicks.
Again, the direct pass up top to Kidu. Kidu controls and drops it back. A dangerous play right around the 6. There is Maya Hayes, who's battling for Sky Blue. Out to Cami Levin, who'll send it back in. There is Hayes, who one-touches it. And Chicago controls. They have Zakia Bywaters, who's going to get caught.
Yeah, timing was a little off there. Jen Hoy did an excellent job bringing that ball down, holding up the attack to find Lori Kolupny's feet.
So the 5th offsides call here for Chicago here this afternoon. It might be the first time Zakia Bywaters has been guilty of it.
Yeah, you got to find that ball in just a little bit earlier, and then you're off to the races.
53rd minute here in the second half. Chicago leading Sky Blue 2-0. Both of these teams on losing skids. Would love to get some 3 points picked up here this afternoon. Sky Blue sitting in 8th place. The Chicago Red Stars in 4th. In fact, this is the start of really 3 games in the next 7 days here for Chicago. A tough, tough schedule ahead.
You want to know how you can get all the latest info and everything?
Chicago will travel to Western New York June 18th. They will still be without those 6 players who were called up to the national teams. And they will get everyone but Abby Ursig back on June 21st against FC Kansas City. Trying to turn. The double team comes here for Chicago. Sky Blue gets out of it. Here's Katie Friels. Up top to Jen Hoyt, who tries to run on. Next up for the Sky Blue, June 22nd, a home match against the Boston Breakers, and then it's June 25th at Portland and June 28th at Seattle. So that's a tough West Coast trip there for Sky Blue. Here's Jen Hoy. On the right side, trying to turn.
Always a tough trip going out to the West Coast. Team definitely struggled out there with an 8 o'clock local time kickoff, which would have been 10 o'clock here Central. I think that definitely has to play a factor in some of these teams from the Midwest and East Coast flying all the way out to the West.
Rory Dames was even talking about how tough it was for his team to have the Wednesday match and then Saturday against Seattle. That is a tough turnaround. Wednesday at home, the loss to Washington, and then making that road trip over to Seattle, falling 3-1 to Seattle last Saturday night. A cross into the box and cleared nicely from Sky Blue. It was a 3-1 game that was really decided on penalty kicks. Kim Little had a couple. Against a first-place team, Seattle has been tough to beat this year. Looking for the head of Zakia Bywaters, and it just skimmed off the top of her head.
Another great ball in from Jen Hoy there, looking for Zakia Bywaters. I think if there's one trend that we're seeing a lot of, it's the Sky Blue defenders having trouble dealing with crosses into their box. We saw it against Houston. We've seen it again here today. Losing their marks here and there on a few occasions.
And again, it's hard to read. The ball's in the air. Now, Chicago attacking with the wind here in this half. As we approach the 56th minute, Chicago with a corner kick here coming up and a 2-0 lead. What would be your advice defensively when you're defending a team who's playing attacking with the wind?
I think you got to look for the visual cues as a back line of when you need to be dropping as a group. Typically when a player's head pops up, they're looking to play that long ball. You've got to be quick to be able to react and drop off when the time calls and try to keep the play in front of you as much as possible. Goalkeeper's also got to be quick off her line.
Well, Vanessa DiBernardo having difficulty even keeping the ball steady. And she will go short side there to Kolupny. Back to DiBernardo. Here's a great look. The bending ball just misses the top corner.
Very nice little set play run there by the Red Stars.
He almost needed someone to hold it like a football place kicker sometimes gets. That wind is awfully nasty out there, about 20 to 27 mile per hour winds here in Lisle, Illinois. Maya Hayes now will pressure Taylor Vansel. Again, Vansel getting the start and talking to Trey Manny, goalkeeper coach for Chicago. He's been very impressed with the kicking game of Taylor Vansel. Probably even more impressed when she's actually going with the wind. Makes the kicking game a little bit easier in that way. Bywaters, look at her tracking back. And Zakia Bywaters just creating that turnover with her speed.
Very well done. You love that type of work rate from your strikers. Makes you feel better as a backline that the players in front of you are working that hard to win the ball.
With Wes Lomnicki, I'm Lisa Byington. We're happy to have you with us here on the web stream for the Chicago Red Stars taking on the Sky Blue. 10 points here this season here for Sky Blue and 19 for the Chicago Red Stars. And right now the Red Stars in the driver's seat to pick up another 3 points here, leading 2-0. And they've had some chances. It easily could be 3 or 4-0 here for Chicago. And Vanessa DiBernardo could have had a couple of goals.
They've hit all but one side of the goal frame.
There is DiBernardo controlling. Here comes Sky Blue with the attack. Out to Cami Levin on the right side. Katie Friels will control there in the center. Levin again, a nice combination there from Sky Blue, who gets in, and the good luck there, and the score there. So Sky Blue with the first goal here this afternoon. And getting a little bit testy. And the goal will make it 2-1.
You see the Sky Blue backline staying very compact today. I thought in that moment, a little late getting out to that ball down the wing. Probably a little bit too compact, allowing too much space to run in from the flank. Unlucky deflected goal there.
And that is Lindsay Kutchell. We talked about Kutchell getting her third start here this year, and Kutchell now gets the goal here in the 60th minute of play.
Well, that's what you worry about with, the amount of chances Chicago has had that have gone, unscored upon. They living a little bit dangerously here now, only with a 2-1 lead. Number of missed opportunities to put this game away already.
And Sky Blue has not gone away. Yeah, we've seen the best opportunities here in the second half here coming for Chicago. But Sky Blue making the most of its best opportunity here in the second half. And Lindsay Kutchell getting the most of her opportunity here to start. Again, the Sky Blue in the same situation as Chicago, missing some key players because of the call-up week. And Lindsay Kutchell last year was not healthy, has had some fitness issues here this year, but making the most of her opportunity in this start here this afternoon. And there is Kutchell again with the intercept. Kutchell with those long legs will push up. And suddenly you feel a little bit of a momentum switch. Here's Cami Levin dropping it off to Nanasi Kidu. Kidu, the lefty's foot. finds the head of Katie Friels, and a goal kick coming up for Chicago.
Yeah, you've seen Chicago here a couple times in the last few minutes be a little careless with possession, and Sky Blue shooting some numbers forward, causing some issues for the back line.
You talk about confidence building. You can see that in the back line, especially with Lindsay Kutzel. And we will have our first substitution. Monica Ocampo coming in. And that is our first sub here for Sky Blue, or really for either team. Ocampo coming in for Ashley Nick.
Definitely got to be aware of what Ocampo can bring to the game. You know, she's fighting off a little bit of an injury, but when she's on, she's definitely a playmaker for them.
Yeah, had a left knee injury in practice really last week. In fact, this coaching staff didn't know if she would even be healthy here to go here this afternoon. But Ocampo is in here for Sky Blue, and really a part of this game where the momentum has switched to the Sky Blue side. Plays perfectly, and Maya Hayes is in, and we are tied at 2.
Very good ball in from there in the Sky Blue midfield, splitting the center backs for Chicago. Gonna have to step it up and respond right now.
Oh, how quickly things can change. Maya Hayes getting her 6th start here of the 2014 season. Here's another look. We talked about how many goals that Hayes has been able to score here at Penn State. Maya Hayes now knots it up here at 2. You would think that the wind would be an advantage, but really, Wes, all 4 goals have been against the wind here this afternoon as Jen Hoy turns nicely. It'll be a goal kick here for Sky Blue.
Yeah, it's interesting how that can sometimes go. We notice up here in the booth that the wind has kind of changed direction a little bit more across the field now.
Well, Maya Hayes, her first goal of the 2014 season. And another look here for Sky Blue. This is Kwan playing it in the air. Hoy can't control. And she settles nicely to the center of the field. Here's Bywaters. Into the 66th minute. That one cleared nicely. Kwan tries to put it back in. And Hoy
offside again.
Got caught once again.
Really like to see Chicago still trying to penetrate through the heart of the Sky Blue back line. What they're really settling for right now are a lot of crosses from deep into the box, hoping to get on the end of something. They had success at the start of the half, really penetrating on the ground and getting really good opportunities that way.
The 6th offsides call here for Chicago. Jen Hoy all alone, battling against that back line here for the Sky Blue. DiBernardo flicking on. Emily Van Egmond controls nicely. Van Egmond with her 2nd assist, or her 1st assist here of the season, going to Alyssa Motz for their second goal of the year. A couple of goals from Chicago in the first half, and Sky Blue has equalized things here in the second. Maya Hayes with the equalizer, and her first goal of her career, her professional career. Drafted 6th overall in the 2014 NWSL College Draft. Here's Chicago, here's Hoy, and a nice stop there from Lloyden.
Again, off a turnover again. You love to see those opportunities come to fruition there. Jen does a great job picking her head up, recognizing she had to look at goal.
And so now the second corner chance here for Chicago, and here's another look at this opportunity.
And a lot of good things happen when you drive forward like that. Opportunities open up for passing angles as well.
DiBernardo going far post. And a look. Crossbar again. Rebound Chicago. No
Looked
goal.
Like it came off the keeper. That should have been called a corner kick off the keeper and off the yellow crossbar. And the referee is going over to her linesman, who looks like he's going to correct her.
Well, Amelie Van Egmond had an opportunity there. And they're going to sort these out. Take another look. And it will be another corner opportunity. So back-to-back looks here for Chicago, the third here of the game. DiBernardo again. And good control there from Lloyden. Lloyden with the quick distribution up the right side here for Sky Blue.
Visit www.HiltonLyleNaperville.com for more information on the Red Stars' official hotel.
DiBernardo pulls back, finds Bywaters. And Kwan going up top there to Hoy. And they will regroup through Jill Lloyden in the back. Wes, you talked about Sky Blue being a very direct attacking team. How have they changed that attack here in the second half going against the wind?
I think, again, going against the wind, it makes your mindset change a little bit. They've done a better job finding their strikers' feet, creating problems while dribbling at the back line. And again, you've seen both teams going with the wind at their back now, having some issues as far as deciding what they really want to do to try to penetrate. A lot of balls played up over the top, difficulty getting to them.
You can see the ball just hanging in the air. Again, the wind, when you're watching on this web stream, blowing from left to right on your screen. Here's Bywaters, dropping it off nicely on the overlap run. And a goal kick here for Sky Blue. Again, Chicago had the 2-0 lead here at the half, and Sky Blue has responded here in the second. Lindsay Kutschel. A goal in the 60th minute, and Maya Hayes responding 3 minutes later in the 63rd to equalize things here at 2-2.
A couple subs to look out for that Chicago may try to come in and utilize are Taryn Hemmings, as well as Melissa Tancredi. Hopefully to bring up top and add some more bite to the attack.
Chicago has 3 amateur call-ups of their own. Tori Allen, Jamie Forbes, and Kelly McCloskey. And Allen and McCloskey both on the reserve team. Out to Motz there on the left side. Motz against Kidu. And Sky Blue controls. Sam Johnson switching fields over to Kwan.
Even though that didn't work out, you like what they're trying to do now, trying to find Jen Hoy's feet to work somebody else in behind off of her checking run. I think that's how you're going to break this back line down here in the second half.
And Red Star fans, if you're wondering where Julianne Sitch is, she was given a 2-game suspension on Friday after the yellow card against Seattle. So you talk about players who aren't available. She is not available for the Red Stars today or in the following game.
Valuable holding midfield player for them. Does a great job defensively. And that was a tough game up in there in Seattle. A lot of physical play. Kind of a head scratcher with that 2-game suspension that was handed down. But league making a statement there.
So she missed today's game, and she will miss the Western New York game on June 18th. And before those 3 amateur call-ups, Chicago was really kind of flirting with having just 1 sub available. Here's a ball placed into Jen Hoy's territory. Hoy trying to chase it down, and we have talked about when you are playing with the wind, the ball just goes and goes and goes.
Yeah, like we said, that direct ball penetrating through the back line, that vertical pass is going to be very hard, even for somebody of Jen Hoy's speed, to be able to track down.
We will have another sub here coming in. This time, Nana Sikidu will leave the game. And another substitute here for Sky Blue. It'll be Nikki Stanton coming in. And Stanton, one of the amateur call-ups here for Sky Blue, getting some time.
Potentially a little bit of a formation change here, too. Kidu was playing out on the right flank. We'll have to see how this plays out here in the next few minutes.
This is Stanton's 4th roster appearance here this year. Also called up May 7th against Chicago, May 11th against Western New York, and May 21st against Washington. Into the 75th minute here in the second half. It is a 2-2 draw so far here between Sky Blue and Chicago. With the current men's soccer coach at Elmhurst College, Wes Lomnicki, I'm Lisa Byington. A warm 80-degree day here from Lisle, Illinois. And I think this match just might beat out the showers that might be creeping in here this afternoon. But wind definitely playing a factor here between these two teams.
Very questionable call right there.
And a foul call. And a free kick here for Sky Blue.
Jen Hoy was definitely one to be taken down there, but Sky Blue doing a much better job being calm in possession, trying to build their attack, get some more numbers forward. Chicago's had some problems with it so far.
And again, having some issues keeping that ball stationary on these set piece opportunities. And a low ball that ends up sailing. Sky Blue again with another opportunity. They were calling for a handball. No whistle, no call, so play on between these two. Alyssa Motz on the right side. Motz already with 1 goal here this afternoon, and a miscommunication there between Motz and Hoy.
Would have liked to see her keep going, drive at those center backs, see if maybe Bywaters could have opened herself up on the opposite side. Again, that vertical ball on the near side of the field is very difficult to connect with the conditions being the way they are.
Again, a strong wind blowing left to right on your screen here this afternoon. From Benedictine University Sports Complex. 4 goals scored between these two teams. 2 for Chicago in the first and 2 for Sky Blue here in the second. A couple of goals scored within 3 minutes of each other. Coco Goodson controlling. And out to Caitlin Ford, who's pushing up here for Sky Blue. Nikki Stanton, one of the second half subs here for Sky Blue. And Zakia Bywater, speedy. Almost created an opportunity all of herself. The one touch there from Hayes. He was looking for Monica Ocampo. Ocampo, a second half sub here for Sky Blue, playing up top. Has a dangerous combination between Maya Hayes and Ocampo. And Jen Hoy once again. That has been her storyline all afternoon long.
You'd like to see her when she tries to receive that ball, almost backpedaling toward the line on the side of the field she's on. That way she can see across the back line and see exactly how to keep herself on side. Receiving that ball facing the sideline offers you very little opportunities to turn.
Again, about 7 offside calls going against the Chicago Red Stars here this afternoon. This is DiBernardo. That ball nearly found the feet of Zakia Bywaters. Into the 79th minute. Sky Blue has dropped the last 3 games. Chicago has dropped the last 2. Both of these teams hungry for 3 points here this afternoon. And the solid clearance there from Kutchel. Lindsay Kutchel has had herself quite the second half here for Sky Blue. Going to end line at the top of the box, the 6-yard box, and Sky Blue controls. Running onto it is Ocampo. And Ocampo wanted a call there, didn't get it.
Well done by Michelle Weneno, using her body there to shield her off.
Here's Ocampo pressuring up against Weneno. Jill Lloyden will control here for Sky Blue. Going now into the 81st minute. In the second half of play, Kendall Johnson up against Kwan. Finds Maya Hayes. Can she do it again?
Sky Blue doing a fantastic job this half of playing through their flanks, releasing players down the wing and getting some good crosses in.
Maya Hayes already with her first career goal here this afternoon to equalize things here at 2-2. Nearly had her second. And we will have our first Chicago Red Stars sub. Melissa Tancredi coming in for Jen Hoy. So Hoy's day is now done and some fresh legs up top.
She's definitely dangerous in and around the box, especially out of the air. Hopefully she can provide a little bit of a spark here in the last 10 minutes.
Tancredi, no goals, no assists here so far in the 2014 season. And Chicago could use something from her here in the second half. Going up to Tancredi, who's in no man's land. And some good pressure here from the Red Stars, making it tough on the back line there for the Sky Blue. Creating the turnover. Here's Motz. The overlap run from DiBernardo. And a corner.
It's well done there, turn a corner. Hopefully they can make the most out of this opportunity here. And we got Motts coming off, or looks like Hemmings coming in.
Motts indeed will take a seat. We have seen Taryn Hemmings come in the last couple of games as a second half sub. Of course, coming off of that ACL reconstruction, always good to see her back, and she has added some physical presence in the last couple of games. Again, keeping that ball stationary has been an issue. The last time Chicago had a corner chance, DiBernardo just went short side there to Kolupny, does it again. Kolupny back to DiBernardo, who sends it in. And we'll do it again from the other side.
You can expect this one to probably be whipped in from that side.
Another Red Sox corner kick presented by Illinois Women's Soccer League, which means another ticket donation to a local non-profit group.
That time going far post, played up the top of the 6-yard.
Like it just went out of bounds on that far post.
So a goal kick here coming up. In the 84th minute. These two teams still far playing to a 2-2 draw. Tancredi drops it off. Here's Bywaters. A nice overlapping run for Morway. Morway, one of those Chicago players who can push up from the back.
Space to go here.
Kwan sending it in, and the flick on, she was looking for Bywaters.
It was a good look there. I just think the runners for Chicago are getting into the box a little bit too early, and they're getting caught having to either backtrack to the ball or stand still and wait for it. I'd like to have them time those runs a little bit more so they're moving toward goal when they get that touch.
Melissa Tancredi coming in up top here for Chicago to provide some fresh legs there up top. Already making a difference and creating some chances here for the Red Stars. Now, Sky Blue responding here at the beginning of the second half and really shifted momentum here in this game. It feels like Chicago maybe has regained it a little bit back here towards the tail end of the second. Into the 86th minute we go. Looking up and over the top again to Hayes. And a foul there on Sky Blue.
Didn't see any contact there, but
settling here for Morway on the left side. Out to Bywaters, who controls nicely.
great run by Hemmings.
Here comes Taryn Hemmings. She's got an opportunity into the box and fought nicely there from Meg Morris. Meg Morris just was hawking all over Taryn Hemmings on that opportunity.
That's the type of diagonal run they've been looking for, being able to find her feet while still moving toward goal.
In the 87th minute, 2-2 here between Chicago and Sky Blue. Goals from Elitza Motts, Zakia Bywaters for Chicago in the first half, and then Kutchel and Hayes to equalize things here in the second half for Sky Blue. Nice turn there from Kolupny going in line, pulls it back. There's a free ball into the box and a foul there called. That'll go Sky Blue's way.
Chicago's starting to ask some questions of Sky Blue in their own area. All it takes is one runner getting in there at the right time. Hopefully they can get a couple more opportunities here toward the end.
Thank you for your cooperation and support.
Here is the goal kick. And a battle there in the free ball situation. A 50-50 ball that is won by DiBernardo. A couple of minutes here before we get into stoppage time here between these two clubs. Sky Blue in 8th place, Chicago Red Stars sitting in 4th here in the NWSL. And here is a ball. Melissa Tancredi trying to run onto and save it. Out to Kolupny. Into the 89th minute. And Chicago here with the throw-in. Here's a chance. A good look there for the Red Stars. They've had a few of those here at the tail end of the game.
Yeah, Taryn Hemmings has done very well coming into the game here late and providing a little bit of a spark.
A couple substitutions offensively have gone Chicago's way. Melissa Tancredi and Taryn Hemmings providing a little bit of a push that the Red Stars need here to close this one out. The 90th minute of play here between Chicago and Sky Blue.
Looks like we're going to have 3 minutes plus of added time.
Please, the fourth official has indicated that the referee will be adding a minimum of 3 minutes to additional time at the end of the second half.
You are correct. A minimum of 3 minutes here for stoppage time. And here is Kolupny. Kolupny finding the one-touch foot. There, Melissa Tancredi, who just couldn't get to it.
Again, a great ball in. So difficult to judge that ball.
Just for her to even touch it was almost a success. Tancredi just needed a little bit of a longer leg there to get to that one, and we are officially now in stoppage time. A minimum of about 3 minutes of play here between these two teams. And DiBernardo called for the foul there on the 50-50 ball. The quick restart here for Sky Blue. Cami Levin. And an offsides call this time here against Sky Blue. They have not had many of those here this afternoon. Maya Hayes doing a great job positioning up against that back line for Chicago.
She's been the best player on the field in the second half. She's definitely raised the profile of Sky Blue on the field. Been very dangerous.
One of the rookies here in this league had an outstanding Penn State career, and a foul here, a free kick coming up for Chicago. Maybe the one last good look here for the Red Stars before this game is done. DiBernardo places it into the air, the flick from Tancredi. And she had Michelle Weneno there.
We can get one more push here if you can win this ball off this goal kick.
Sky Blue has played to 4 draws here this year. Chicago just won this season. And it is knotted up at 2. Van Egmond dropping it off to Morway. Back to Van Egmond. A low ball service. Here's Bywaters. And we're going to end in a 2-2 draw.
Thought the tale of two halves there. Sky Blue really came out the second half, dominated the first 15. Actually, after a couple good chances by the Red Stars in the start of the second half, Sky Blue came back very well and responded. Maya Hayes, fantastic second half from her. Red Stars just unable to capitalize on one of their last chances there at the end.
Well, as you said, a tale of 2 halves. There were 2 scores and 2 goals from Chicago in the first half and 2 from Sky Blue in the second. And neither one of these teams gets the 3 points for a win, and they end in a 2-2 draw. Your game highlights between these two. There was a lot of good opportunities here between Sky Blue and the Chicago Red Stars. And here are some of the highlights and the best looks that we had here this afternoon. There was that best chance from Vanessa DiBernardo in the second.
Really unfortunate there a couple times. They had great looks at goal. Kolupny hitting the post, as you're about to see here, as well as DiBernardo. They were very active out of the midfield today.
They talk about momentum changers here for Sky Blue, and they really came out in attack mode here to start the second half. That one just skimming off the head of Zakia Bywaters. This off of a corner look here from Vanessa DiBernardo, just bending it up and over the frame. And that was the goal there from Lindsay Kutschel. That was the first score there for Sky Blue, and Kutschel making the most of her opportunity. Her third start here this season, she gets a goal to make it 2-1. And then the through ball there to Maya Hayes for her first career goal.
Yeah, credit to Sky Blue. Like I said, they battled the entire second half, had some very good opportunities, as well as Chicago. I think 2-2 draw is relatively deserved.
A back flick there from Maya Hayes, and you've said that you felt like she was maybe the best player in the second half out on the field.
She seemed to be causing a lot of troubles, I think, specifically with her defensive work rate. She was making it difficult for the back line of Chicago to really start the attack when they won possession.
So Chicago now falls to 6-4-2 here on the year. Sky Blue to 2-6-5 here this season. Chicago came into this game in 4th place. Sky Blue in 8th, and we end in a 2-2 draw here between these two teams. Wes Lomnicki, we appreciate you being our guest broadcaster here this afternoon.
I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Thank you very much for having me. Wish we could have come away with a win, but we'll take it. Brilliant day out here.
Well, for Wes Lomnicki, I'm Lisa Byington. We want to thank you again for joining us on this Chicago Red Stars webcast. Again, a 2-2 draw between the Sky Blue and Chicago. Have a wonderful Sunday afternoon, everyone.
With 2 kids playing on 4 different teams, Jane struggles to stay organized, especially when it comes to getting everyone to the right place at the right time. And with the inevitable last-minute changes, things get even more frustrating. Thankfully, each team uses TeamSnap, making Jane's life a breeze. After downloading the app and activating her account online, schedules are automatically synced to all of Jane's calendars. She gets team notifications on the go by email and text. Maps and directions are a single tap away. And she can even view team contact information so she can organize carpools with nearby families. Get started with your free account today and join millions of parents like Jane who already use TeamSnap to keep their kids on the field and their sanity intact.
Proud presenting partner of the 2014 Chicago Red Stars, CJ Wilson Mazda has all-star service and breakaway selection with all new models, like the 2014 Mazda 6, starting only $19,999. Discounts off MSRP include all customer incentives, plus tax, title, license, and dock fees. Financing varies for qualified buyers. Offer ends April 30th, 2014. Test drive a Mazda today at CJ Wilson Mazda, located at the corner of LaGrange Road and Joliet Road in Countryside. Visit ZoomZoomNation.com for the largest selection of new and pre-owned Mazdas in Chicagoland. What do you drive?
There are two ways to manage a team. Coach Derek uses a clipboard, the old-fashioned way, and Coach Bob uses his smartphone and the TeamSnap app. It's faster, way faster. When the practice location changes at the last minute, Coach Bob touches one button to notify the entire team by email or text. Coach Derek needs a team. The night before the game, Coach Bob confirms that he has enough players. At game time, Coach Derek discovers he doesn't have a goalie. And while Coach Bob's bank account is happy because he can collect the team fees online, Coach Derek spends hours searching through notes to track down who hasn't paid. TeamSnap puts your team on the field, on the web, and on your phone. Whatever your game, whatever your group, TeamSnap makes it easy. Sign up and try it for free today.